Hey, what's up? I'm Joel Madden, and this is Artist Friendly. On this episode, I'm talking with the lead singer of Grammy-nominated rock band Underøath, Spencer Chamberlain. Let's go.
Smoking on piff, that's my kind. I don't want no bad times. I don't want to have bad.
How's it going, Spencer?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Have we met before? I feel like we have, but I can't remember. I can't place it. Yeah.
I think
probably like a festival or
Warped
a
tour or something,
tour.
something like that. Yeah, we've never really rode down.
We've never gotten to hang out. This
20
is
years
good,
in the
then.
making. You know?
This has been 20 years in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do watch these all the time when I'm scrolling and stuff. I see all these interviews. I'm like, these are great.
Cool. Thank you.
So yeah.
I like doing it.
Yeah.
It's most of these conversations we would have if we were like broing down and meeting up.
Yeah.
If we were like meeting for the first time and we had some night to kill somewhere backstage or
Like
somewhere.
you're on tour. Yeah, like chilling.
And
Like,
you end up in some really great conversation and people don't ever get to, you don't have it on record.
yeah.
You don't have it. Like you haven't. So this is great because so it's like they were like, oh, he's in C with Joey. I was gonna go in, but like I actually like to sit right down and start talking, and we don't have to use all of it. But I like to have like the meeting and the even if it's the first time, like I like to catch it because like I don't know. I just think it's like something special.
Yeah. No, I dig that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So thanks for coming.
Yeah, man, dude, we're excited to be here.
How's Underøath?
Record came out today.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Better than ever, strangely enough. You know, this far into it, it's funny. I feel like as we started to focus more on like, are we having fun? Is this worth being away from family? Do we need to do this?
Yeah.
You know, because I think when we were younger, the way that the scene worked or the industry worked, it was like you had 2 years on a record, you had to make another one, you had to tour. You know, it was just like if you didn't deliver, you know, in a certain time frame, like you might be forgotten. Someone's going to come and take you out of your spot or your lane. And now I feel like there's so many lanes to where it's like good for them for being huge. I don't care if the opening band now is playing arenas and we're not. It's like it's a win for everyone, and you could just take your time and focus on what's important, which is the art. Like, are the songs good? You know, if they're not, we don't need to put them out. You know, like, so I think strangely enough, like as we started to focus on things like, is this fun for us? Are we happy? You know, are we getting along? The music started to like really shine. Like over like writing this record and just being like less sacred. Not, I don't know if that's the right word, but like, let's use that for now.
Yeah.
Like my part has to be there because I work so like less that and more like looking around the room like, is Chris bobbing his head? If he's not, maybe, all right, let me try something else. You know, like I want him to be stoked. Fuck everything else, right?
Yeah.
I don't care what the fans say or what Randy, no offense, is he in here? There he is. Or like the man or like the label says. Like I was really going into this record, I was just like, we've struggled a lot with our relationships and personal demons, and the band's broken up and got back together. And
What do you think that was?
which part?
Okay, let's start with
Drugs, alcohol, death, fucking growing up.
Okay, so you would say, yeah, it's interesting because like it is kind of just growing up. But
I have a theory.
what's your theory?
Okay.
I
Kinda
love
like-
theories.
kinda like-
I'm a very philosophical, theoretic
kinda
guy.
like you see like a lot of like the child stars
Yes.
go through it. I think when a band is young, it gets any sort of notoriety. You know,
fame,
granted,
success,
it-
this, that,
just-
all of it, whatever.
coming from nothing and having money to pay your bills playing music,
It's a-
that's it.
It's
You're
like
making
it's
it.
like magic. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa, this money magically appeared, and I can get $20 out of the ATM
Yeah,
anytime I want.
right. Yeah.
It's like magic.
So my theory with why bands that start young have a hard time and they break up, or at least for us, in my experience, it is you start a band with dudes that are like-minded, right?
Mm.
Everyone's like into the same thing,
Mhm.
you know, and you get into a van. So when you're in the van and you're a nobody, you're playing floor shows, basement shows, VFW halls.
Mhm.
You know, in this day and age, you know, before the iPhone, there was a CD in the CD player. So you're all listening to the same shit.
Mm.
So you pull over on the side of the road. What do? You all eat the same place.
Mhm.
And then, we're out of underwear, we're out of fucking shirts. You go shop. You all look the same. Everyone
Yeah.
looks the same, dresses the same, acts the same. A lot of it's like the herd mentality. Like you've got this tube you're traveling around in, sleeping on people's floors. all
it's
these
survival.
all these you're surviving the road, and all these inside jokes and these crazy, like, oh my God, we stayed on these people's floor last night. They were fighting upstairs. Can you believe, all the conversations you're having because you're really living life together.
Like think about it. Not and so just kind of like a footnote or asterisk, like in exactly what you're saying, because I think about this a lot. If we were tribal 1,000 years ago, our people would all wear similar clothes because we got it from the same source, right?
Yeah.
So like it's a bit of like we win in groups as people,
right?
We don't win solo. We win in groups. We have to survive in groups, and then there's subgroups in the groups.
Totally,
right? So like as a tribal species of people that survive together and evolve together, we are kind of like exactly what you're saying. Like you're traveling around, surviving together for a shared common goal of hopefully success, which what does success mean? It means we eat.
Yeah. Like $5 for food, $20 for food a day or whatever it was. And like,
So go ahead, continue.
So the reason why I think like you go through these problems is because when any sort of fame happens, and for me, when I was growing up, it was like making it to me was seeing these scene shows and like the finger pointing and people singing words back at you. That's it.
That
was because when this shit started, there was no thought of mainstream. There was no thought of 20 years. There was like, it was people singing your words back at you would be life changing. That's it. But as you're traveling around and things start to take off at any sort of level, and you get out of a van into like a bus, people start to have a little bit more freedom, and you get a little bit of money in your bank account, even if it's just a little bit. And now you've got, people start to become individuals, which I think is really healthy.
Yeah, I do too.
But when you're a teenager or into your early 20s, you get offended. When this guy starts being like, well, now he's a vegetarian, so he doesn't eat with us anymore, or that guy's straight edge and this dude's starting to drink, or he's listening to different music and his tastes are changing, or even his clothes, because now on a day off, he can go to the mall by himself and go somewhere else, or the group goes this way. Whatever it may be, the individuality of becoming a man, in our case, it's all guys in our band, so as we've started to become men and not just little boys, feeding off of each other, it caused a lot of growing pains. And I think a lot of as people became individuals, including myself, like I would get offended, and people would get offended with me and like, or just mad, and you're just like, oh, fuck that guy. He's kind of different now. Right. When we should be celebrating each other's differences and letting people explore and find what's right for them. And also, when we started this band, it started out as a Christian band. So that was a whole other element of pressure of being the same. Because the minute you start to think a little bit different or question even, maybe this isn't right. Maybe I don't like this. Maybe this isn't good for me. Someone's like, that guy's got a problem, or we need to talk to him, or he's out of here. So there was a lot of, I think Underøath especially had a whole other, or any other band that had like we're a straight edge band and everyone has to be straight edge, or we're a Christian band.
How did the Christian label get put on you guys?
The band started as a Christian band.
What does that mean?
When I joined the band in 2003, I didn't ever write about it. So that was always a question for me. But a lot of the bands that from the scene that I was around, they were sharing similar labels. I know it was like everyone in the band was Christian. For us, it was something we talked about in interviews or on stage.
Right. Okay. So you had a pointed message.
Right.
That you at the time really felt compelled to share in your music and on stage.
As a group, yeah. But it never really translated to lyrically, which also started to change for me pretty fast. As the band started to take off, seeing things like that, like this Christian side of whatever the music industry is, and seeing people that are like, well, some of these people aren't good people. Some of these people are, it's kind of like jaded and fucked up. And like, I think being a kid and being like, the idea is to lead people to like, what? Like, we're just kids. What do we know? That was a huge thing for me too. As like, we shouldn't be leading anyone towards any decision to make with their life because of our stance. Like, why are we making a stance about what we believe in when we're like boys? You know, to me, it was a confusing time for me to be a frontman of a band that was taking off. And there's this pressure of like, but they're a Christian band and I'm the mouthpiece. And then I'm like kind of going inward with that. That's like crushing my chest.
Yeah.
You know, like the anxiety, which ended up leading to drug use and like,
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like,
that's a
lot of,
that can happen.
yeah, the pressure of like, I also was like, I don't feel comfortable with a lot of the stuff that is attached to this religion. Not saying, and I'm not like, I've been quoted. It's, I guess, you get misquoted or they pull the clickbait out. I've been like, I hate Christianity. Yeah, clickbait, whatever. That's not the case. I think whatever works for you,
Well,
more power to you. Like
I'm
everyone
assuming
should
you
have
grew
that
up
choice.
in a religious house.
Kind of.
So did I.
Yeah.
I was in the Church of God my whole until I left home.
Yeah.
And it was evangelical and it was very Christian. In fact, it's weird. You know, the reality of religion is it's good. It at the core of what it's supposed to mean. Like it's a higher ideal of do unto others is generally the core values are all generally the same across religions. It's do unto others. It's love your neighbor as yourself. It's peace and love, and it's actually what's I think helped evolve humans along the way is a higher compassion is really like the highest evolution of a human is like to just have compassion. But it's leadership when the leader of a group says, if you do that, you're bad. When I do it, I'm human.
Right.
I made a mistake. When you do it, you're going to hell.
Right.
Right? That's the problem I have.
At the core of, like what you were saying a minute ago, the core of religion, like I am not an anti-religion person, like go for it.
Yeah.
If it helps you, and I believe that's the beauty of religion, just as a broad statement, is like, it helps people.
I agree.
And I think some people need it. Like there are people on this planet that fear God, and that's the reason why they don't lie, cheat, steal, kill, whatever. Like there are people that need it.
It's good.
And then there are people like on your deathbed. I couldn't imagine like people battling cancer and people battling different, like the comfort. I'm not an anti-religion person. I'm just saying being in a Christian band was not good for me. And I try to share my struggle with that or my experience with it. And I've been known to be like, oh, he fucking hates Christianity, hates Christians. That's not true. I don't hate any of that.
Let me read you your quote in 2018.
I'm sure. Here we go.
You said, I'm not saying religion is wrong for everyone, but for me, it was wrong. It ruined my life.
It did.
Turned me into a drug addict, and people were awful to me the whole time. I never felt more alone in my life than I was a Christian. Actually,
I stand by that.
In the moment you said that, I'm sure, because I actually related to that.
Yeah.
That's why I said, I got to ask him about when he said that, because I related to it. I actually used to say, I'm a Christian in a band. We're not a Christian band. You ever hear that one?
Yep. Oh, yeah. My whole life.
The core of being in a religion is a good idea. When I meet people who are truly like enlightened, who like love God, it's different.
Yeah. And it's to be honest, it's inspiring and it is it's attractive. Like you feel like you want that.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that it has to be one way, like, and then the guy who's Hindu or Muslim is wrong is just weird. So,
yes, because you're an artist.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to tell stories.
Yep.
And we're trying to heal people, actually.
I mean, that was the initial love of it, right? Like you were a kid, you listened to something that made you feel not alone, right? There was something in your room at some point in time, you had put on I don't know if it was a tape or a vinyl or how, CD, whatever it was. Even the
I'm not that much older than you.
Even an FM radio.
CD.
Yeah.
But tapes when I was little.
Tapes, yeah. But also, I mean, my parents had vinyls and shit laying around, but whatever. Whatever it might have been for you or whoever's listening, like there was a moment in time you were listening to something more than likely by yourself that made you feel like that's for me.
Yeah.
That was written for me or written about me or that's what I want, and I think that was, I'll never forget being a little kid and I was obsessed with Nirvana. I have an older brother and two older stepbrothers. So I had cool music always when the kids my age necessarily weren't into it yet. And I remember showing a friend the song it made me feel, and and he was playing like Super Mario, or he was like, yeah, I don't know. And it made me I was like, God, if I could just bottle that feeling that I'm feeling right now and just give it to you, just drink that. I want you to feel that. Like, I was so frustrated at such a young age of like, why can't this person feel that? It was like, I just wanted to share that feeling with my friends. And most of my friends that I grew up with did not like any of the music that I liked or cared. And it would just, I guess, motivated me to be like, to write, to share, because music, I know it's cheesy, music saved me, but yeah, it did. It saved all of us, which is why we are in these seats right now talking about music and talking about life, because at some point in your life that bing went off in your brain of like, wow, that's everything. That changed my whole, like, it could have been something so silly, like you got picked on at school in freaking second grade, but that song came on and you just felt better.
Yeah.
And that was it. So it's like, if it was pizza, you'd been like, if I eat a piece of pizza and everything changed, you probably would have wanted to open a pizza restaurant when you got older. But for us, you and me, it was a song or a lyric or an album or a band. Could have been their whole everything, in that. And then you see that, and those people that come to your meet and greets and mine, and they wait outside for your signatures or mine, or like.
How old were you guys when you got, you put out your first record and you really started working?
2004 is when it started to move.
So you were early 20s.
Yeah. 20 and 21.
Okay, so young. Do you ever think maybe with Underøath, the Christian moniker, do you ever think that maybe it was taken from you, slapped on you as a marketing thing, and kind of got away from you? Like I'm not saying it wasn't real, because I know it was, because I could feel it from you guys, but do you ever feel like it was taken overboard maybe, by all of the powers that be that are, just trying to sell records, trying to find audiences, trying to blah, blah, blah? Do you ever feel like you're young and you're not completely aware of how all this works? You certainly you don't have the 20 years you have of experience go hold up, messaging. How do we want to say this? How do we want to do this? Do you ever feel like it was kind of ran with and you guys were just not to say you weren't powerless, but you were kind of I guess this is how it works. We don't want to lose the opportunity. We don't want to be ungrateful. We don't want to be all the bad things. So let's just be good and be grateful and go play and not think about it, because this is what everybody wants and the fans want it and these people want it.
Well, we had to do that. It came to a head at some point.
Right. But do you feel like it just got ran with?
I think more so internally than I think the outside. Maybe I guess we weren't really paying attention, but maybe a little bit. But I think that there was a movement in that scene of that. I mean, the bands like Underøath and the Devil Wears Prada were Christian, and Norma Jean. Yeah, they were. And then Norma Jean and
that's weird.
Emery.
I never looked at you guys as a Christian band. I knew there was some religious aspect.
We didn't do the Christian band thing. We didn't tour with Christian band. We just toured. We did so I think for us it was more of a sore thumb, because we stayed out of the Christian world as far as the touring world.
Right.
And I think it did become a talking point in a silly way of there's this band on Warped Tour that calls themselves Christians, and some of our guys were doing a Bible study. And that kind of thing was look how ridiculous they are. I think that was a moment in time, but I think I was just trying to ignore it all and figure out, why do I feel uncomfortable with
and figure out life?
All these good things are happening, but I feel uncomfortable. And I think that's what we're all doing, is trying to find ways to be comfortable in our own skin. And I think as that label started to become more prevalent and we started to grow, I just felt more and more uncomfortable in my own skin, to where
I get that.
I didn't want to be in my skin, so I'll get high.
Right.
That was just an easy, obviously it's a Band-Aid, maybe that works for a few months.
How long did the drugs go on?
13 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
God damn, man.
Yeah.
It's a long time. Did you drugs,
a long
bro?
time.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Me too. That's a lot of my friends are not.
Yeah.
Even, there's a song on the new record called Survivor's Guilt, and it's kind of we had a conversation about, different people's survivors go. Like, if you're in the military, and you know, we were talking about this friend that like his whole platoon died and he survived, and great that you survived, but there's also that feeling, this other feeling that comes with it. And that song was kind of coming from the standpoint of like the opening line is 7 years and 8 down in 23, which is, it had been 7 years since I had stopped using drugs. 8 of my friends died in 2023 alone.
Oh,
The
wow.
same shit that I was doing. And just because I got out before the fentanyl phase, like the feeling of like, I'm not better than my friends. Like I've known some people that are dead right now weren't even as hard of drug users as I was.
Right.
They were casual, you know, once a month we'll party, you know, or we go out every now and again. And like, yeah, we'll do a bump or two, you know, and you got the wrong.
Let me tell you something, bro. Sobriety is the religion in my mind of, if you want to talk about religions giving you something. I'm not a sober person. I've never been an addict. I've never had a drug, an interest in drugs. I'm terrified of drugs. They scare the shit out of me.
Now, I can't even, like, all my band eats edible, like they're all into like, and these guys were all super straight. When I was first drinking and partying, I was the wild guy.
I don't consider mushrooms drugs.
Yeah, well, but any of that stuff, weed, I can't even take a weed. Give me like the feeling of being out of control, which is like I can still have a glass of wine with my fiance cooking dinner.
Right.
We're at home. We're like,
not alcohol for you, it's drugs.
It's drugs, but because even with drinking, it's like if I start to feel a buzz, I just put it down, because now the thought, I was like not in control of my body for so long. The thought of being out of control, it terrifies me. Like I took an edible. Like when I first got off drugs, I smoked a lot of weed, you know, because I was like trying to find something else, until I smoked so much weed that I was having panic attacks and like I couldn't sleep, and I'm like waking up. I'm like, I hate this.
Did you go to therapy?
Yeah. I did substance abuse therapy for
but did you also just go to therapy? Like,
yeah, I've done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think there's something like some trauma or something when we get into, like, when I hear about your drug use, I go, I don't know. I don't think you should ever do drugs.
No, I don't do them. I don't touch any of it.
If you've had that experience that you had. I have friends who I guess they use casual drugs. I don't know, because they don't tell me, because I think they think probably I would judge them. I wouldn't, but I also just don't do drugs.
Yeah.
I also don't want to hang out with people that are like
fucking
doing coke.
melting. And
It's a weird, like,
yeah.
I think that's like as adults, as middle-aged guys, like I don't go out that much, but when I do,
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm happy to be out when I'm out. But if someone's doing like coke, it's weird. It's like,
The funny thing now is like I can go out to any bar anywhere with the band. Like when we go out, we don't go out that much. I barely go out, but
yeah. Are you married with kids and stuff?
I'm getting married in September.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's nice.
I'm excited.
All the Christians will be glad.
Yeah.
Making it honest.
Right.
I had my kids before I got married.
I have a kid with an ex-girlfriend that was a crazy toxic scenario right when I got off drugs. It's my daughter is a blessing. But
Well, there you go.
That scenario was a fucking shit show. It was awful, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like we can't judge those situations that we found ourselves in when we weren't honoring or trying to like love ourselves or take care of ourselves and others. But out of those things come these beautiful.
Yeah. When your therapist says you should not be in a relationship, you should listen to them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to end up in court battles and shit for child custody. Like
That's terrible.
Oh, terrible.
What a horrible thing.
Yeah. But the funny thing, like what I was saying, is I can go any bar or anywhere because I was a drug user for so long. Like I know the game and everything. And also, by the way, I did not go to a bar for about 6 years.
Okay.
Because I just didn't want to put myself in it.
When I put yourself in there.
I had to learn how to trust myself again. Had to learn how to love myself again.
Yeah.
It was really important.
But did you ever love yourself?
I do now.
Good.
You know, but I don't think I did as a kid until
I found out.
Until I went through the drug phase and then was harder on myself after. I was more of a wreck the first 2 years after being off drugs than I was. I was a better functioning drug addict and could keep my emotions and my life in line. But then the first 2.5, 3 years off drugs, I was a roller coaster.
Yeah, you were left to sit with the reality of you.
Yeah, and I would just, for no reason, break down. Could be crying.
Yeah.
I could be a dick. I could just self-implode or just look at someone and lash out. I was like, I was not in control of my emotions for a good while. It was the first couple of years off drugs were fucking hard.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. I think that when we use drugs, we're medicating deeper pain, trauma. And then when we're left alone with that pain, the trauma has to come up.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense to me that you would be a better functioning drug addict.
Yeah.
That's not having to deal with whatever the pain is, whatever we got to work out. There's no one on this planet that doesn't have, after the first 20 years of life, have to unpack their childhood and figure out, where are my injuries?
Yeah.
And that's why everyone should go to therapy. Everyone should find some person that's professionally skilled.
Dude, even
to
using
help.
an app, dude, the kids
Use
nowadays,
the app.
Use an app. There's so much positive stuff that I wish we would have.
I wish I would have done it when I was fucking 21 in good Charlotte.
We didn't have
iPhones
that you could just push a button and talk.
On the road doing therapy.
Yeah,
I couldn't
now
do that.
kids can do that, and it's so beautiful. I'm happy we're
Everyone
at that
should
spot.
find their version of mental health, and what does that mean to them? Like, what's my mental health currently? How do I take care of it? Is it therapy? Is it this app? Likely it's a few different things. It's some people meditate, some people do yoga, some people go to therapy, some people go to this kind of therapy, some people go to that kind of therapy. But everyone should be thinking about, what am I pushing down and not dealing with? Because when you find yourself on drugs, not having to deal with anything, completely checked out, likely overwhelmed by your career, personal development, when you're in a band that has success early on, stops. Personal growth stops.
Yeah.
And if you don't have someone around you that's saying, hey, this is kind of how it works. Like, on stage, you're this character and you're this guy. It is you. It is an aspect of you. But off stage, you're just you. It's okay to just be you. Like,
and I think that's hard. I think that's hard to figure out when you're a kid, when you start as young as we did.
And when you're in this constant business of me.
Yeah.
It's a business of me. Yeah. If I don't show up, it doesn't happen. And then and then what does that mean? And it ages you in some ways, and it stunts your growth in others.
We talk about this all the time. Yeah.
It
keeps you in this bubble. You grow, you'll see things that you shouldn't have seen super fast.
And there's no accountability. If you're on the road and you want to do some drugs, or you want to go and have a one night stand, or there's no one's there going, hey, is that good for you? You think that's the best thing? Like, let's talk about it before. Like, there's no thought into these like life altering sometimes decisions.
Right.
That you're almost expected to behave badly. You know what I mean?
Which is why your parents didn't want you to be in rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of celebrated because and anywhere you are, it's someone's Friday night because they're here with the band and they all want to hang out and they all want to party or do this or do that. Isn't this what you guys do? And you're like, so at a young age, if you get in your early 20s, it can be really unhealthy. And I'm not even like absolving myself of responsibility. I'm saying like it doesn't mean it's okay to make all those bad decisions. It's not it. It's just, it's not a healthy environment.
Right.
It's more unhealthy than it is healthy. It's not conducive to like personal growth, spiritual growth, all these like positive ideas of like how we can kind of navigate life and grow. And I didn't really learn about any of it until I started therapy, and I wasn't probably 29 when I started.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like the gym and therapy. It was two things.
That's what I was about to say. I think there's three forms of therapy in my life, but outside of, there's regular therapy, and then there's songwriting, because you're writing things that a lot of times you're not maybe comfortable talking about yet.
Yeah.
And I think there's a beauty in that. And then the gym. That was a huge thing for me, as you can tell, I'm huge.
You look good.
Just going.
Look fit.
I take care of myself, and it started with like, I hated the way I looked. I hated myself when I looked in the mirror, which was the start of getting off drugs. It's like, who is this? What the fuck happened to me? And then you kind of change the way you eat, and then you start working out and exercising. You're like, man, I feel, because I think when you're getting high, or you're trying to, I don't think you're like, fuck you, mom, fuck you, dad. I think you're trying to feel good.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's something in your life you're trying to feel better about, and it's a good feeling. Highs, they call it a high, because if you're like, ooh, I'm up here, right? So I think I started to find something that made me feel good in a completely different way. Because for some reason, good starting in my 20s was the drug high, which is a synthetic or, whatever, a high that's not necessarily natural.
Yeah, no.
That's not supposed to be felt until you find a way to kind of find a parallel. It's not the same, but it's this thing that's like, man, I feel great right now. Like,
I have a theory. I think we use drugs to get to a potential that would otherwise take us much longer to get to.
Amen.
So if I
Amen.
want to vibrate on this high of a level, it would take
Years.
self-care, therapy, self-love, all the things I'd have to learn how to do. But my question was, did you love yourself before? Did you like the way you looked before the drugs?
No.
That's my theory. My theory is we don't love ourselves. We have something, some injury in our life, and some of it's just the human condition. And most band guys, whether they want to admit it or not, all start outsiders, low self-esteem, sensitive artist types. We're very sensitive, so we go into a world that's not. We go to school, we go to these places, and we get banged up because we're feelers. And if you're a songwriter, you're a feeler, you're a thinker, you're sensitive, and you want to give. And so people like that were very susceptible to damage.
Yeah.
So we get damaged, and then we go into these artistic careers, and then we have success, and we don't even know how to fucking make sense of the success because our self-esteem will not let us hold it and own it. And then we find our way into something that escapes responsibility from that work we'd have to do to get to the high of loving yourself and being happy and being
working
okay.
working hard, like on you. It's discipline.
It takes discipline.
It takes a lot. It's like,
and it sucks.
There are days where I'm like, I wake up, I'm like, man, I would just love to just lay in this bed and just roll around, watch some Netflix, just get up and kind of roll around and eat and just be lazy. But I'm like, I'm going to get up and go to the gym, even if I don't want to. And then when I'm done, I'm like, fuck yeah. Even if I do nothing for the rest of the day.
From it.
Yeah. And I'm like, but I also did something to make me better. Because I look at myself, I'm like, I'm not going to be the dude that starts to fall apart from 40. I'm not going to spend the next 40 plus years on a decline.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I spent 20 and 30 destroying my body. Now I'm going to be like, every day is a chance to be a better me.
Yeah.
So I wake up and I go, all right, even if it's just that, I just went to the gym. That's doing something for my heart, my body, for my joints, stretching the muscles, all of it just working in your brain. It's like, so today,
I'm the same way.
Today I'm better than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
And it allows you to love yourself more.
And you're doing something hard, and it makes the rest of the day feel easy.
Yeah.
Because you're doing that workout, you're doing that sauna. I like the ice plunge. I like the sauna. I like the workout. I like I'm learning to like cardio, which I always hated my whole life. I'm learning to like it.
My knee doesn't like cardio. I grew up skateboarding. Were you a skateboarder?
No.
I grew up skateboarding.
I mean, I did, but I wasn't good.
Crashed my knee.
What about a bike?
Oh yeah, I can do the elliptical on the bike. Yeah.
The bike is a good one. It takes a minute to get into it, but it's a very good source of cardio.
Yeah, it's the running on the pavement or on the track. Like my knee.
Running isn't good.
My
for
knee
your
is like
body.
my knee is like, yo, let's stop that.
Inclined walk is good. I do that a lot. The stair machine, really good.
Yeah,
got one at the gym.
I agree that I think it all spawns from like
self-love.
And how do you tell a 12-year-old boy to be like, you should be loving yourself? Because
you can't.
They don't even understand. You don't understand what that is. And I'm like, when I think back on it, it's like, like it's funny because my fiance is always like, I bet you were like, if I would have met you in high school, like you would have been so cool. I've been playing shows since I was 12 and like,
oh wow,
skateboarding. And I was like, no, where I grew up, I was picked on for that. Like that wasn't cool to play rock music.
No,
where everyone was like, it was hip hop and country.
Yeah.
In football.
Yeah.
In basketball. And
where are you from?
I'm North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was to dress
ass.
the way that I dressed and to play anything with a guitar that wasn't a jam band. Like I was my band was selling out little venues and stuff. I played music with my brother and his friends a lot, and they were like older punk dudes, and like that wasn't cool. You were like a freak, you were a loser, or words they would call you that you couldn't use now.
Yeah.
All the time. And I tell her all the time, I was like, it was so opposite. I was like, selling out a show as a kid would get you thrown into a locker because you're not a jam band.
Yeah.
And you're not, you know what I mean? You're not a football player. Like it was like, it wasn't cool. So I think all of that started as like, you didn't look like everyone else. You know, I wasn't jacked and had a beard at 16. I was a little twig on a skateboard, you know?
So I think that like we started this conversation off about a more emotional aspect of like what it means to be an Underøath and what the journey's been like. And I think it's important to like recognize like Underøath is cool as shit.
Thank you.
It's a storied career. You guys show up and people show up to see you. You're one of those bands that everybody knows is going to like show up and tickets are selling and people are coming to that show and it's a good show. You guys have built a thing that takes a lifetime to build because you're a good band.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I think that it's important to kind of highlight what it means to build for people listening. The reality of building something great is it's fucking chaotic and messy inside when you're doing it because it's human beings working together, working on their own shit, figuring out who they are.
And then who are we as a unit?
Right. And who we are as a band. And what does that mean today? What does it mean 3 years in, 5 years in, 10 years in? It's always going to change.
Always.
Who we are as individuals, always going to change. And what you hope is you arrive to this point in your life, right? Like I always say, it's like 40, right? You arrive to the point in your life where you should know who you are.
You're right.
Hell or high water, whatever you've been through, good, the bad, the ugly, the pictures you'd look back on and go, ooh, or the moments you'd look back on and go, oh my God, it's ugly.
Yeah.
But that's growing up.
Uh-huh.
And on the other side of it, I see grown men in a great band, making great music, affecting the world in a positive way.
Of course. Yeah.
Affecting each other in a positive way. And when I sit across from you, I go, oh, this guy's a success.
Right.
You're fucking here.
Right.
You're not all disconnected and you can sit here and have a real conversation about some shit that like, this is why I like this show is because we can talk about what does it mean to be a Christian anyways, or what does it mean to be a band anyways, or like, it's very hard to define the reality of any of the things of any of these ideas, but like we should be able to talk about it without having everyone take every word out of context, rip every little thing we say about, we're just working it out.
Yeah.
In real time, all the time. And so this conversation is more true to what it actually means to figure shit out and still not kind of know and kind of know.
Yeah.
But when we hit 40, you would hope that we figured out how to live life and our way that will allow us to go another 40 years.
Right.
And not go the way of what we've seen a lot of our friends, people that died way too early, either by drugs, suicide. All of it is like, to me, like drug addiction is like a long, slow suicide. It's taking the way of the like, I don't want to kill myself like that. I want to kill myself like this.
It is.
And so anything we do knowingly in poor health, we know we're killing ourselves a little bit doing this each time. That to me is like the down cycle. Or we choose the path up, which is hard, but on the other side of that path is good health, clarity, more self-esteem, more self-awareness, more self-love, and a grounded sense of reality. I always think that way. I'm like, what's the grounded sense of reality here of what it actually means? Not the idea of it that everybody wants to post or write, or that's all just ideas, and most of it's bullshit.
Right.
Reality is a different thing.
So I was talking to someone the other day about, they were asking about me writing this record, being off drugs and all this stuff. And I painted it like we were saying, like when you come out at 40 and you're like, you should.
What's the name of the record?
It's called The Place After This One.
All right.
So when I look the way I explain this is like my whole career, I want to explain it like as if visually, if you're on a boat, you're traveling from point A to point B. You're out there. You got this crew with you. You're sailing. Fucking storm hits.
Yeah, as they do.
And you don't know if you're going to make it. You don't know what's going to happen. It's just chaos.
Yeah.
And you're shouting about it. You're thinking about it. You're like, oh my God, we're going to die. The boat's going to go down. You're yelling at this guy to pull the sail in and this shit, the other. We're going over these. Everything's going crazy, right?
Yeah.
I've been writing in that my whole life.
Mm.
And someone asked me what it was like to write this record. What's different about this record? And I said, I got through the storm, got on the shore. No one died.
Yeah.
And you looked out and it's like, that was crazy, right? That was nuts. Now we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Now that I've made it through the other side, not saying that I'm not going to have another storm in my life. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. We don't know. But
Likely.
right now, I made it to shore and I can look back and clearly talk about how that felt, how I was feeling. What was it like to be in that moment as opposed to my whole career? It's like you're treading water trying to write about what you're in. You're in the shit, trying to talk about the shit. But now when you're on the shore looking back at it and you're like, I could write a book about this.
Yeah,
I could make a movie about that. Whatever it is, like writing from that perspective and hindsight of like, it is still real. All those emotions I felt and I can still feel and think about can make me feel a certain way. I can still talk about it just because I'm not an addict anymore or I'm not dealing with death or whatever this crazy toxic relationships I've been in, all the stuff in my life that was turmoil. I don't need to be in turmoil to make good art.
No, you don't.
I'm clear-headed and on the other side of it, I'm really fucking happy. My life is good. The band is happy. Everyone's in a great spot.
That's nice.
And it made for great music because we could focus on making stuff that made us all happy and stoked. And I could write about turmoil. I could write about the storm that I went through over the last 5 years, or I want to go through the whole 13 years or the whole 20 years of being in this band. I'm sitting on the beach, my feet in the sand, looking out at that clear sky and this ocean is calm. And I'm just like, I can't believe all that. But now I can really think about it. Like, what? How did that really make me feel? What was that? What, like, let me talk about it because I'm a fucking live, and I'm here.
I also can like analyze what part I played in it, and then I can not do it again.
Right.
And then it can always be sunny and clear, even when problems come. They're less of a storm and more of a problem to solve. And because I'm so clear, I'm so equipped, and I understand. Like I listen to my instincts, and if somebody comes around, I'm like, before, if I did this, I still let them hug me, right? Now, if I do this and I don't let them get near me, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, metaphorically, I'm saying like we can look at like what are the patterns we've had in our lives with ourselves, with people. Is there a reoccurring problem that I've always thought was other people that's actually me?
That's a huge one, right?
Yeah.
That's a fucking
big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Can I get out of my own way?
Yeah.
Right. But I think that's the age. I think that's experience.
Is that what this is? Is this what 40 is?
I think so, dude.
Okay. All right.
It's experience.
It is. In going back, not to dive back in the religion thing, but that was also like, dude, you don't know who you are. How are you leading anyone anywhere? We knew nothing. Like now, look at us now. We're actually like, I feel like finally, like I'm a man now. I feel like I was a boy until like clarity hit. And when you know who you are and you've got some self-awareness and self-love, you're like, I'm a fucking man.
And you can easily, a grown-ass man can make a decision and stand by it and be fine with it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like if you don't
And we don't have to see eye to eye on everything.
Yeah.
And that's
exactly.
okay. And it wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
If you and I have, different feelings about different things, fine. We can talk about it. I don't care.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I find differences to be more interesting than anything. When someone's different than me, I'm always like, oh, why do you think that? Yeah. Oh, tell me. I don't know. I'm interested. I think it's
it's also like, sometimes I think as you get a little bit older, you're like, well, maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe if I listen and hear you out, like maybe I could learn something.
Yeah.
Also, maybe I can stay still firmly with my decision on how I feel. I think that is being mature, like being able to hear someone out and make, a conscious thought of that, of like not anger because you're saying something that I don't feel or I don't believe in, but like more like, oh, I wonder why you make that choice and I don't. And is there something I'm missing? And after the conversation is done, like, oh no, I'm still feel the same way I felt and I'm good and we can be different. Or to be able to be like, oh wow, I never thought of it that way or thought of it that way. I'm going to look more into that.
And I'm in constant, I'm constantly working on my shit, whether it's my business or my marriage or myself, my personal growth, my physical. I'm constantly now, I'm in a lifestyle of like
Same.
working on myself and my shit. And I think it's given me a really like healthy view of the reality of this, right? I believe that we all have dirty laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we all have closets and we stuff shit in them.
Mm-hmm.
Some might be worse than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some people's shit in their closet might be terrible, right? I don't know, but I believe we all have it. And so can I get to a place in my life where anyone can walk in my house and look in my fucking closet and look in my fucking laundry? To me, that's the goal. The goal is to live a life where you could take my computer, you can look through all my emails and my text messages and read everything I write, and I can live with it. I can live with you knowing my worst moment or my best moment.
Right.
That's, to me, that's like clarity. That's like peace. That's like something like.
And that's not easy to do.
No.
But I think it's something to strive for.
It's something that I strive for because I believe that we live in a world now where people sell. And they sell this idea that they're right, that they're perfect, that they're this, that they're that.
And their life is better than yours, especially
and
social
they're better
media.
than you. And I'm like, no, reality is we're all human beings walking around like fucking, like we think we're conscious. We're such animals in our instinctive kind of the way we move through the world. And we all have something embarrassing. I don't know. We all have, and we don't look at each other like that. Like we, like as a society, as a group, we like celebrate people's downfall or their embarrassing moments or their, and I kind of like move away. I'm like allergic to it. I move away because I really believe that like, if you can't hand over your phone and let everybody read your fucking text messages or you're this, you shouldn't be going after them because that in my mind, the reality of being a human is we all fucking have done some dumb shit or said some shit or I don't know. And I think that the goal is to live a true life in front of everyone. It's like, I'm not saying that people shouldn't strive to change the world and affect large groups of people and organize. That's fine. I'm saying that they should be mindful of the power dynamic and how they present themselves as perfect or something. I don't know, because I'm very careful about that.
It changes you. There's no way that it can't.
Yeah.
If you go from your platform being 5 people, be it a band, a preacher, or some person on Instagram, from playing for 5 people to playing for 5,000 people, 5,000 followers, 500,000 followers, selling millions of records, whatever it is, it's going to change you. It changes your brain. You cannot control that. That's something we don't understand. And then it's how do you combat that? And I think there's no way to really truly do good with it unless you're really working on yourself or you're in a really good spot. And most of us weren't in a good spot when those shifts happen, be it your little Instagram following that you're telling what they should eat or what they shouldn't eat, down to a band preaching from stage or a pastor or whatever it may be. I think that shift, no one's prepared for that.
And I'm glad that our music, I'm sure you feel the same way, can be a positive source of motivation or comfort or anything that people find in our music as something in their life, right? That's helping them on their path to personal success.
Totally.
Personal growth and good health. I do believe that like, if it wasn't my band, they would find another source.
Totally.
Because they're looking for it.
Yep.
And I'm glad they found me, but I believe they'd find something if they're looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
So my encouragement to people is don't follow me. Don't think you're going to follow me. If I'm a source of positive, great. Keep looking for the positive and on the road to good health and good well-being and personal success and growth. Or the other road is downward spiral towards death.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
Longevity isn't just our health. It's our mind, it's our self, it's our whole self. So anything that helps you in your path to personal success. And that's all the things, your health, your relationships, your happiness, all of it.
You have to water the plant.
Yeah. And so that's my thing is like, there's a lot of positive sources out there for you to use on your journey. My message is always for people to find it, to look for it, and to find their, look, the transcendent side of life, spirituality, faith, is really good on the path to being well. You're going to find I think you're going to need to find your version of that. Because it is a real aspect of us. Like our spirit is a real aspect of us. But I just don't think there's just one way to be happy, healthy, whole.
I don't think so either.
It's different for everyone.
It is. And that's okay. And that's also confusing, which is why I think people are constantly in turmoil growing up, because there is no answer. Like, isn't that what we're getting at? Is that like, there is no, if there was a way to raise a child right, it's 2025. There would be a book already that's like,
the manual
this is what
would
you
exist.
do. Here's the manual. This is what you do. This is how you have a child that's not going to have problems. You're going to grow up healthy and happy. Dude, we still don't know.
Yeah.
And I think this whole thing that's what this is about, is like trying to figure out what works for you, because it's different for fucking everyone. And that's so confusing. And when you're a child, you're not equipped to even understand that. Like, why is it different for me and my best friend John over here? Shouldn't we just do the same thing?
Yeah, no.
Because it works for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't. And I think that's hard, is realizing that you are, in certain aspects of this life, you are on this journey alone. It is
you are.
your life.
Mm-hmm.
You are in control of it, and you have to find what works for you.
Yep.
Yes, you're not alone in the fact that you have family, friends, loved ones, relationships that you have.
You're alone at the end of the day, though, falling asleep.
Yeah, in your thoughts and in your
mind.
brain.
Yeah.
And like, what is good for you? And that's I think that's scary. I think what it boils down to is, as a child into your teenage years, and then you're looking at moving out of your parents' house, it's scary. Whether you're excited about it or not, to the thought of like, but it is just you, what works for you. No one can tell you that.
Yeah.
You have to find it within you.
And that's the journey you've been on.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think you've been on that life journey. And it gets kind of wrapped up in music, because the music and the band becomes all encompassing of our life.
At one point, it was my entire identity.
Me too.
And boy, did that, when Underøath broke up for a couple of years.
When did you guys break up?
The top of 2013. We broke up in 2012, and I think we did our farewell shows bled into the very beginning of 13.
Then when did you get back together?
16.
Okay.
So
Well,
about 4
hiatus
years.
was
It
good
like
for you.
4 years.
Yeah.
And boy, when your whole identity is, when you don't love who you are when you start out and you're a little kid and you don't really have an identity, you're not sure who you are, you're not really a man, you're just a child that's not, it's easy to fit in with a group of like, oh, now we're 6 guys, 5 guys, whatever. We're this.
Yeah.
I don't have to be just me. We are this.
Yeah.
And then your whole identity, especially mine, like being the singer, and like everything was Underøath for me. I am the guy from Underøath. Oh, that's who I am. And my life consisted of all this busy schedule and just filling in the gaps in between Underøath events.
Yeah.
How am I going to kill the time?
Yeah.
There was a lot of partying and going out and, wasting time. And then new Underøath event, and then when that comes all crumbling down.
Yeah. What were those years like? Those years between breaking up and then deciding to get back together?
Rock bottom.
Oh, wow.
Like it got darker, but I started.
Where did you live?
I was living in St. Pete, where the band was based out of Tampa, St. Pete.
Okay. You find some trouble down there.
Oh yeah, it was bad. The spiral had gone to the bottom. I actually moved to New York. I moved to Brooklyn in 2014, and that was the start of getting better, which sounds crazy. You moved to New York, and New York's crazy, but for me, it was, I had to get away from where I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to die here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a slippery slope. I knew everyone everywhere. I mean, I walked into a place, they knew my order, or they knew my drink, or whatever. Like, I could get away with whatever I wanted. I knew everyone.
Mm.
Any band that came in town, they knew to hit me up. Like, I was always the guy.
Yeah.
I was the guy, So I needed to delete most of my phone and start over somewhere.
Yeah,
and I was
fresh
just
start.
and being in New York, walking around by yourself. And, you know, I also fell in love with music again there because you're always listening to the music when you're walking around. You know, you don't have a car and you're in your headphones.
Also,
and,
no one in New York fucking cares.
Yeah, and yeah, and it's great. I learned how to go out to dinner by myself. It sounds so small, but I hadn't, you know, you're in a band. Like, dude, I have never done that. You know, growing up, it was like always needed somebody with me. Always.
No dinners alone.
And I learned how to be completely alone.
Yeah, be alone.
And then that was the start of like.
And then you have to think about yourself. You're alone and you're like.
Do I like where I'm at?
Yeah.
Do I want to keep doing this? And I was still making music. I made a solo record, a duo. Like me and my friend made a record and hired a band, toured the world with that, played Wembley, did Australia, Europe, multiple US tours. Crashed and burned, drugs and alcohol, burnt the whole thing down on the ground as Underoath started to talking again. And I was actually on a different journey of, I realized being the crazy guy in my band, then I was doing this project called Sleepwave and I hired a bunch of dudes that were wilder than me.
Right.
All of a sudden I'm the parent and I'm the responsible one. I was like, this fucking sucks. I was like, if this is what I've been putting Underoath through, I got a fucking little wake up call. And then, so that's spiraling out of control, but a lot of good, you know, like the band did a lot for such a short time. And Underoath starts talking again about maybe doing a 10-year tour or something, like celebrate, like we did a lot, like blah, 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 blah. As I'm living in New York slowly, like the drug use had really slowed down. I had changed the way I was eating. I started to exercise, and exercise really led me to completely get off drugs, which was
awesome.
Because if I was like, I really like going to the gym and feeling better about myself and working on myself. If I get high tonight and drink too much and stay up till 4, 5, 6 in the morning, I'm gonna be too hungover to go tomorrow. And then there was like the double guilt. Like I shouldn't have done that. And then I wake up, I'm like, fuck, I missed the gym. Fuck, I'm not doing anything good for myself.
How often were you like having like episodes with like a shame spiral?
Oh, daily.
Daily?
Yeah, when I was still
when you were out there,
yeah, but like
that's a real thing, man. You go, I'm doing so good, and then you spiral. Then you go out one night and you like wake up and you're in like a shame spiral for a week.
Oh yeah, you beat yourself up.
Yeah,
I'm really good at that.
Yeah,
the overthinking brain and the like.
Oh, it's terrible.
Which I've
because you're creative.
Yeah.
So your imagination is a lot more powerful than just the average non.
And
artist.
there's ways you can work on the overthinking brain. It's just constant. It's a constant work. You're constantly working on yourself. But it all started with that, like really moving to New York, Underoath breaking up, really reflecting on the fact that that's not my identity. You know, and I've found now like Underoath is a part of my life, but it's not my whole life. Like I'm a happy dude. Like I've got a lot going on in my life that I'm really happy about, and I'm really healthy, and I have stuff in my life that is more important than Underoath is.
Right.
You know, like, and I don't need to show up for the dude party. I don't need to show up and be like a bro. It's not a fraternity. If some people in my band still feel that way that it is, that's fine. That's for them to figure out. But like, I'm like, I do what I need to do. I make sure my relationships with my friends are intact in the band. And I'm like, but I'm also still going to take care of myself. And a lot of times nowadays, it's like getting shit when you come back to the bus after a day off because you weren't around to go out to dinner with everyone, to go to the movie or whatever. It's like, sometimes I've learned how to take that day where I'm like, I'm going to just be me today.
Yeah,
maybe
it sounds
I need to like sit in my hotel room and maybe just relax and watch some TV. Like I'm exhausted. I'm like, I don't need to be around everyone all the time. I can take my time and work on me. And sometimes that's like checking in at home, FaceTiming my daughter, calling my fiance, talking to my dad, maybe go to the gym and then eat lunch by myself.
Yeah.
And just chill, and maybe like go walk around. And I don't need to be with someone in my band or crew all the time like I used to. And it's like, it's been super healthy for me. And that all started with silly enough, New York, Brooklyn.
That actually makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a healthy thing about living in a big city where there's so much more going on and you can find inspiration there, but you can also kind of disappear there.
Yeah, it was great. I was there for a handful of years, like almost 5 years, and it was awesome.
Yeah. And it sounds like you guys really like got. How did how did you come back together and like establish that? Like, it sounds like you guys respect each other. It just sounds like grown men. You grew up. It's the same as our band, but we had some of the same key issues. Like, but then we
worked through it.
We work through it, and then we respect each other.
I was talking to Jason from the Fever and Let Live.
Yeah.
And as he's getting back together with Let Live, and we were just kind of chatting. He's a good buddy of mine, and he's
a nice guy.
He's a sweetheart. I love that dude,
like
and
him.
I love the Fever guys. I love the Let Live guy, like all that. You know,
I like all of them.
All of them, everyone. You know,
The three of them are a force. It's
Steven, Eric, Jason.
They're all
those
forces.
I loved all those human beings with all my heart. But it was funny because, you know, Jason was posting about going into the first Let Live practice. And Let Live was on a tour with Underøath early on, and then they were on our farewell tour.
Right.
And then we've done stuff with the Fever after getting back together, because the Fever came about around the time I think Underøath was getting back together.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of history with all those dudes. And I was just speaking to him about that, of like, he was posting about like, I'm going into this new, you know, this new old territory, like about to uncover some wounds, or I don't know what this is going to be like. And we just started chatting, and I was just like, from my experience, because I did it, whatever the outcome is, doesn't matter. Just being able to even mend the friendships at all. If you guys play one show and dissolve, or you go to be the biggest band in the world, doesn't matter. The coolest thing is y'all getting back in that room. It is a special time to like, because y'all did a lot, and you traveled the world, and you made some important music that helped a lot of people. Whatever happened. I don't know. I don't need the story. But the fact that you get to get back in a room, you're going to feel all sorts of shit. You're going to feel weird. You're going to feel great. You're going to feel maybe like, oh, I still have a distaste for this guy.
Yeah.
But you start to kind of work it out as men, and it's a beautiful, and that's the most important thing, is mending that friendship there.
Yeah.
It's like,
There's no rules either.
That was really what it was with Underøath, was I think we spent like 4 years not talking at all.
Mm.
And it started
Probably
like
good though.
Yeah. And then like when the group chat started to kind of light back up again, and it was just kind of like, yeah, this is such a huge part of my life. Like I miss these. It's like family, you know, like, so it's like you've got brothers and sisters or siblings or whatever. It's like, you're not always going to be perfect with your brother. Like you guys get in fights. It happens. There's times where you like, maybe you don't talk to your dad or your mom for a week because they pissed you off, or you pissed them off, or you're sitting with your brother, your sister, whoever. You know, like family is tough sometimes. And that's what a band is. And I think being able to walk away from it and come back and be like, we're in different spaces now. Everyone's grown. Like, let's see if we can figure this out. And there's stuff that we still need to talk about. We can talk about it.
I've learned the most powerful thing we learned how to do was communicate.
Mm.
And that we framed it like, okay, we're all at the table. Everyone's perspective is real. It's valid. It's like, you really have that perspective.
Yeah.
Like your perspective, even if I don't understand it or think it's fair or think it's right, it is actually how you feel. So if none of us are wrong for how we feel,
as you shouldn't be,
we can actually start talking about understanding each other. And then in the middle is where it all lives. In the middle is where we all can actually work together, because everyone's a little right and a little wrong.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Getting a bunch of dudes together to be like,
that's how I feel.
You're not wrong for how you feel, or to be able to, can everyone actually do that? That's a question I'm going to have to talk to Underøath about.
Can everybody?
Can we actually all sit around and go, you're not wrong for how you feel?
You're not wrong.
But
you're
because
not.
That's how you feel. But I don't know if we can all do that.
But you're not wrong.
We've been working on that.
Okay, so that would be the challenge, I would say, is see if you can sit at a table and say, everyone at this table has a perspective. Your experience and your perspective is yours.
Yeah, you're not wrong for how you feel.
You're not wrong.
It's so simple, but the fact that
the truth lives here in the middle of the table where we're all looking. And somewhere in the middle, you're a little right and you might be a little wrong, and I might be a little right and I might be a little wrong. But the truth of the matter is how we feel.
Right or wrong doesn't change how you feel.
How we feel actually, if we don't stop and say, oh, this is a feeling I have. It's not the truth. It's a feeling I have.
Mm.
And we got to separate reality from feeling.
Yeah.
My reality is dictated by how I feel. If I think it's a bad day, if I feel like this is a bad day, you come in and go, what a fucking great day. And I'm like, what? It's a terrible day. Well, why is it a terrible day? Well, because of this. And you're like, what? I don't even understand what that means.
Yeah.
Because how we feel is how we see the world, how we live. That's our life, how we feel every day. That's why my kind of practice is every day is to establish how I feel right when I wake up.
Mm.
Oh, I'm feeling a little anxious. I woke up anxious. Why am I anxious? Okay, that's not real. Okay, that's not real. Okay, that's not real. And then I get back to the middle where I'm like, oh, you know what? today's a great day. Sun's shining. Everyone's healthy. Okay, let's go. And then I have a great day every day. But I have to decide it every day because I grew up
You make that decision.
in trauma.
Yeah.
So mornings are very hard for me. So I started through work learning when my trouble spots are. I find I wake up this way. I find I go to sleep this way. Okay, I need to, over time, try to improve those. Because if we can master our thoughts, we can master our life.
It's like that thing they tell you, like, in your relationship, you don't go to bed angry.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing. You've seen that all over, right?
Sure.
You either come to some sort of agree to disagree, you kiss your wife or your husband or whoever, your partner, and you don't go to bed angry. That's a huge thing.
And so there are tools, right, for that. If we can't agree on something, we table it. And we actually try to identify a time. So can we table that till next week? We'll win next week, Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday of next week. Right? I know it sounds silly, but it gives us relief when we can't agree. And then I'll make a little joke and she'll laugh, or she'll make a little joke and I'll laugh. And then we try to get back on track with the joy part.
Because that one moment doesn't identify your whole relationship.
No,
that's just a feeling in the moment.
That you nailed it. We cannot define something as a whole by a singular event, a singular day, a singular person, a singular. So we have to also, as a band, say this album or this month or this day or this tour or this show, however big or small you want to go with it, does not define us. And everyone at the table, your feeling is your feeling. I can't change how you feel. I can only try to understand how it feels to be you from your perspective. So if I can do that, even if I want them to feel how I feel, I want them to agree with me, I'm not going to get anywhere if I don't know how they feel. And so if I learn how to listen and hear and feel, and then say, okay, I understand how you could feel that way. I might go, give me a minute. I need to think about it. I want to respect how you feel, but I also want you to understand how I feel. And I think we need to meet in the middle. And then we need to figure out what we're trying to accomplish and how our feelings factor in and how they don't. Right. So some of our feelings might not factor into anything we're doing. It's just how we feel. And so we have to slow things down and try to compartmentalize things so that we can work together on the pressing matters. Like, we got this show we got to play tonight and you're mad at me. And what I like to do is go out there and both of us enjoy ourselves. So I want to understand how you feel. We got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And so what I'm asking for is, if you can try and tell me how you feel, I'll hear you. And then maybe we can put it on the shelf and maybe we can talk about it after the show.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow.
How do you get on that stage though? Like, the guy that's angry, can you get on that stage and not have the anger?
Well, you both have to participate. Some people are emotionally, they have to develop. Emotional intelligence, I think, is the most important thing we can gain, is to learn how to understand and process how we feel in real time, right? And we can start to track and see how other people are feeling, whether they tell us or not. I can tell when someone's anxious because I've worked on it so much for myself. So then I can identify that anxiety is causing them to say things, do things, and they're not aware of it.
I can sense when the people I'm close to, I can sense when something is off. I can sense if you're upset or you're angry or you're sad or you're anxious without them saying anything. There's a handful of people in my life I can do that with.
And when someone's focused on, when they're anxious, they're focused usually on a source of what's causing them to be disturbed or upset or afraid. And so they'll hyper focus on something that actually probably doesn't make sense and it probably doesn't matter. It's like someone who thinks they're dying, they're having a panic attack. They're not dying.
No.
And so they're saying, my throat. And you're like, your throat's fine. You could tell them anything. They're not going to hear you. So you can't do that, actually. You actually just have to try to help them through it by what a therapist would do would be like, okay, why don't we try breathing? Why don't you wiggle your toes? Why don't you there's different things for people that are having panic attacks. But all I'm saying is, like, I think it's called emphatic listening. And it's like being able to hear someone and understand how it feels to be them in that moment without pulling your perspective in and trying to get them to see what believe you, right?
Not trying
feel
to
how you
change their
feel.
perspective.
You're just actually just trying to listen. And then by even doing that, it brings it down. And then you have to kind of almost like constitutionally agree with yourself that you're not going to judge their perspective or try and change their perspective. You just want to understand it. And then actually that I find opens up dialogue, even if like let's say before a show, Underoath's about to go on, you have 30 minutes, somebody's mad at someone, and you go, okay, I can tell you're mad at me, or I feel like you are. I know we don't have a lot of time, but maybe you can tell me how you're feeling. And then they're like, well, I feel like you do this. And you're like, instead of defending that and go, no, I don't do that. Because that's what a lot of people do, is they go straight into the accusation of, you always do this, or you're so this, right? That's like a very undeveloped way of saying that you feel like someone isn't appreciating you or someone isn't acknowledging you or whatever. And then instead of going, no, I don't, go, I don't want you to feel that way. I don't actually want you to feel that way. I think that's something we should talk about. I feel like I don't have a good answer for you right now, and we have now 20 minutes to go. So could you accept that I hear you, and like, can we go on stage and do this together? I want to enjoy this with you because I like you. And I feel you. I understand that you're mad at me, and I want us to work on that. Can we do it tomorrow, or can we do it next week, or whatever? Most of the time people will actually get on board and go, actually, yeah, I feel like you're acknowledging that I'm upset, and yeah, let's work on it. And then that starts to like,
that takes a lot of maturity, and I think that like
it's weird.
No, but I also feel like it's brilliant and simple, but I don't think bands can do that at an early age.
It's hard to learn how to do.
I think that takes
it takes age.
I think Underoath is to the point where we could probably do that.
I think you guys could.
We've been we're way healthier than we've ever been, but we were a very, very unhealthy band, whether we like to admit it or not, from the get-go.
Why do you think that was?
I don't know. I really don't know.
On the outside, I would have never guessed it.
I think everyone just had their own
stuff to work out.
Yeah, and I don't think they were able to do anything we've just spent the last 30 minutes talking about.
Well, we couldn't either until we were like well into our 30s.
I think that your feeling is wrong.
Right.
It was Underoath for 20 years almost, you know? And I think my feeling is right, and he thinks his feeling is right. He thinks his feeling is right, and everyone else is wrong.
Maybe that made you guys like a fucking great band. Like,
it
maybe
probably
the
did.
tension.
There was a lot of tension, but the best thing that I can say now is that we hear each other out way more than we used to. We coexist way more than we used to. We accept each other way more than we used to. And we made a record not in turmoil. And I know everyone says this, but I truly believe I've only felt this way twice in my life. I stand by every record and every song we've ever made, but I've had this feeling twice. It happened when we made Define the Great Line, which is a record that tons of people quote about. That's our pinnacle or whatever. That same feeling when I heard that product back, I have when we made this record.
Yeah.
And I explain it to where I think you always make the best representation of where you are at that time.
Yeah.
Every time you make a record, but sometimes we're not in that we're not in a great place. Sometimes the band's not in a good place. Sometimes us as people aren't in a great, if you look at your life like this, sometimes you might make a record when you're right here. And maybe that record's flooded by all sorts of outside feelings and anger towards each other and distaste to where it kind of makes a mediocre record. But when you're at a really good spot personally, and each member's within reason there, and you make a record you're just on fire, and things are just fucking happening, and it's like, oh my God, we're capturing all this. And then you push play and you're like, fuck, we did that. I felt that way on Define the Great Line. We were in a really good spot making that record.
That's why we're in a band together.
We made that record. We were like really unhappy in certain ways with the way the first record went, Chasing Safety. And we were also on a high from some of the things that we worked so hard to do. We came in the studio with a fucking motive. We wanted to feel how we wanted to feel. Like, that's not who we are. This is who we are. And we pushed play. We were like, fuck, that's it. And our managers and labels were like, why does it sound like that? Why didn't you make this? We were like, trust us. And then, the record changed our lives. I felt that way when we made this record that came out today, actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We made something. We were like I said, sometimes we don't always make the record in our best spot.
Yeah.
And right now, Underøath is in a really good spot, and we captured a record to when we push play back. I felt that same, like, you caught lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do, and you can't fake that. You can't force that. You can't be like, hey guys, let's go in the studio and catch lightning in a bottle. Something special's got to happen.
No,
It's just a good time, man. We were firing in a really good cylinder. Everyone, not just one guy, not one of us carrying someone else's dead weight. There was none of it. Was just came to a head.
Yeah.
And when I heard it back, I was like, that's the goal, right? So I listen to everything, but when it comes to heavy music, what do I want to hear? Because I don't listen to it all the time. I'm around it all the time.
Yeah.
So what is it that I want to hear? Let's make that. Because I don't know what what is it that I'm missing? What do I want? What am I not getting? And then when that started to happen and you push play and looking around, everyone is fucking, dudes are standing on chairs and walking around we made it in like this house, and like dudes are like headbanging, walking around the kitchen. I'm like, we did it.
Yeah.
Because if me and my four friends.
Yeah. If you like it.
That's all that I care about. Like, I don't care what everyone's going to say. They're always going to be mad when you make new songs. People, oh, it's on your old shit. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm so over caring about that. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And we have the best fans in the world, but no offense, I don't care. What I care about is when I look at Chris, I look at Tim, look at Aaron, look at Grant, and the guy producing, and everyone's like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's it.
That's the feeling.
Because all I care about is the guys I made it with. Everyone thinks that that's the shit.
Right.
That song fucking rips. That song can come out.
Yeah.
If we don't feel that way about the next song, let's keep working.
That's the bar.
This time, I feel like, all things considered, all of the shit we've been talking about with our relationships and where we are we quite to where we're talking about accepting everyone's feeling 100% yet? I don't know if we're all the way there yet, but we are in a better spot than we've ever been, even from the get-go of this band. Through all the turmoil, through all the ups and downs, through the breakup, even getting back together, we weren't at the spot where we're at now, which I think we're up here. Mm-hmm. And maybe we could still keep going up there.
Yeah.
And the band's growing, the crowds are growing, the shows are better, we're better performers, we're better in the studio, we're better writers, and we're better friends. So I see it going that way. And I hope
feel like it's an era beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said this in the interview the other day, and if you're looking at Underøath as chapters or books, the first book just ended, baby. Like, come on, that 20 years, like closing out that 20th anniversary tour as we were starting to release new music, I was like, this new music is the next book.
Right.
In the trilogy or the whatever, how many books we're ever going to write. It wasn't when we got back together. It was when we broke up, wasn't the end of chapter one, like that. All of that was here.
Season one.
And I think now we're starting season 2, which is starting with this record that came out today, moving forward.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it does. It feels good.
I'm happy for you guys.
Thank you.
I like you guys. It's cool to get like a perspective, like peek into like what was going on with the people.
Yeah.
The band is such an idea. It's such a thing that's not, it's real. Like, together we are this band. We put these records out. Your idea of me is this band. It's not me as a person.
Right.
And then you meet me as a person and you will formulate your opinion of me. And it might actually affect your opinion of my band. It likely will.
Totally.
Right. And I'm okay with that. But me as a person, individually, any given day, any given year, any given era of my life is different. The idea of my band, you might still be back in 2006, right? That's fine with me too.
Right.
But it's why I do this, to get to sit with someone and get a sense of them. And then because I'm in a band, I know what that feels like. Everything you're saying, I have a very visceral feeling of like what those times and those situations feel like. To understand, like, every band is going through something because they're always growing as people. They're always growing as a band. And they're always fighting to make it and fighting to survive and fighting to try and figure out life and all of it while living in this bubble of being in a band, making records, touring, and trying to keep up with the success that you found yourself in. Because I never fucking thought I'd have it in the first place, and I don't want to lose it, and I'm terrified of this, and then getting past the idea that like this singularly defines me, and that I am actually a real person that can have lots of different aspects.
And I think about my favorite bands a lot.
Yeah.
Bands that I love, like some of my favorite bands in the world, like the Deftones, for example, or Nine Inch Nails, as far as heavy music goes. And even Radiohead. My first tattoo on my arm is a Radiohead tattoo.
I love Radiohead.
There's Radiohead records that I don't necessarily love, though.
Yeah.
As much as others. Doesn't mean I'm not going to the show. I'm going to start leaving hateful comments on there. And I think about...
Well, they don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah. But also, like, it's not going to keep me from going to see them. And it's also doesn't mean that I don't think that maybe the next record will be for me. Because there's been bands like Nine Inch Nails, for example, that have released a record that I was like, oh, man, that's not what I wanted to hear. But it's not... I'm not Trent Reznor. I'm not Atticus Ross. But then... it didn't change the way I felt about the band and all the music that I loved that they put out. And then a record or two later, boom, my favorite fucking Nine Inch Nails record. Oh my God, this is incredible. So, and I think that's learning that about my band and our fans and like the way I feel about some of my favorite bands is like, it's a wave, man. Like sometimes you get up and ride it all the way. Sometimes you get up and fall off, and sometimes you miss it at all. If you can't ride the wave, then like get out of the ocean.
Yeah, you can like me too and not always like everything I do. You can also like not always agree with everything I say.
It's like a relationship. It's like, I like you, man.
Yeah.
You and I could be friends.
Yeah.
If I lived here, I'd hang out with you.
Yeah.
I'd invite you over to dinner.
Me too.
But there might be things in your life that we're don't see
different on,
that we're
sure.
different on.
Yeah.
And it's not going to change the fact that I like you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's how I've started to feel about some of my favorite bands and some of the like, just because they release a song that I don't, maybe isn't my favorite song or isn't better than the one, it's not always leveling up for me. Doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, they're done. I can't listen to them anymore. And I think when you accept that about yourself too, is like, we're going to keep making music and we're going to try things and we're going to swing at when that pitch gets thrown. And sometimes we might connect it and fucking hit a grand slam. And sometimes we might get just to first base, or sometimes we might strike out. As long as we don't stop swinging at the fucking ball,
that's right.
We're good, man.
Yeah.
Like just keep going and keep doing you. And as long as you're doing the shit that you want to do.
Yeah.
Like Underøath, the one thing I can say about our band, as much as I've said some things about us not being healthier or, ups and downs in Underøath, the one thing I can say about Underøath is we've always unforgivingly been ourselves.
Yeah.
Whatever's happening in the scene or in the world or what's popular right now, we've never fucking cared or bent to it. And we've always done what we've wanted to do. And sometimes that connected and sometimes that didn't. As long as we're doing that and we're happy, we'll continue to be successful. Because I feel like if you're being true to yourself, there's an audience for it.
I've always felt that.
And
I know I've always gotten the impression that you guys are serious about what you do, which is a really nice thing to see when someone takes what they're doing seriously versus whatever. Like I'm serious about what I do.
Yep.
I don't care what anyone else thinks, but I have to be serious about it because that's my life.
Yeah.
And I think that it's nice to see. I've always felt like you guys were, well organized in what you were doing and serious about it. Whether you feel like you were or you weren't, the impression I got was that I've always taken you guys seriously.
We've always taken the music very seriously.
And I think people take you guys seriously because
you want people to get it.
Yeah. You hope they do.
Like I hope everyone feels the way I feel about this record that we made. But if we don't, okay, we're always going to make more music. And we always have our own music. It's like we're never not going to play all the songs. We've got songs that people love that those aren't going anywhere. But I hope you get what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to piss you off. I'm trying to make sure my band is intact doing what we want to do and it's exciting for us and it's progressive for us. Otherwise, we're not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because I know how we are, because we need to feel like if we were just to make the same music over and over again, we wouldn't be, it's not worth leaving your family if you're not excited. It's not worth leaving.
Feel alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you guys are on tour with Papa Roach.
Yeah. It's awesome.
It's awesome. I love those guys.
The nicest dudes ever.
Yeah. They're great.
Yeah. I think those dudes are
I bet those shows are great.
They're insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is crazy.
And then what's next after that?
So this is broken up into 2 legs. So this leg's about a month, and then we've got festivals like Sonic Temple, Rockville.
Oh, we're going to do Rockville.
Cool. And a couple others fly out, and then there's the second leg to Papa Roach.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we're busier. It's crazy. We're busier than we've been in 20 years.
I bet.
It's nonstop, and that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
You know, can't
Well, you
complain.
guys are OGs.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it that way.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, that's so good.
This is sick.
Yeah.
Let's do this again.
Yeah, we should.
Thank you for listening to Artist Friendly. We really appreciate it. If you like the show, you can also follow us on Spotify. You can follow us on Instagram at artist.friendly. And you can watch us on YouTube and Veeps. Leave comments. I always read them. See you next time.